Hey, what's going on, Strat fans? Happy Boxing Day. So before we get into this Let's Play of Vicky 3 today, I just wanted to again shout out that I'm still doing that Victoria 3 giveaway. This is the last chance for you guys to hop on board with that. So all you have to do to enter, Strat fans, is to subscribe to my channel and leave a like on either this video or the previous or any of my Victoria 3 videos, and a comment saying that you subbed and that how much you like Victoria 3 or what's your favorite part of it. That way I can pull those comments and put you into the drawing. And on the 31st, I'm thinking around 10 or about noon on the 31st, I'm going to do a stream on YouTube, and we're going to announce the winner halfway through that stream. So stay tuned, Strat fans, and if you really want your chance to win Victoria 3 the Grand Edition, make sure to chuck a like and a comment on this video or any of my other Victoria 3 videos. And with that, let's get into today's episode of Victoria 3. Hello, welcome back, Strat fans, to our Victoria 3 gameplay. So where we left off last time, we had just had another big little war, little skirmish with the Sioux. We dealt with some political turmoil, and now we're seeing a huge drop in radicals since we completed one of our journal entries, which was the slavery debate. So the slavery debate, it should be, I wonder, is it even in here? Probably not, but it was already dealt with. So because of that, we have a huge drop in radicals because there's a political shift in the government. So all those political shenanigans should filter out. We're trying to rebuild our economy because, that war, I kind of called everyone to action, and it just like decimated our economy. So we're gonna have to work on that. We can support more interests. So I feel like since we already have this, we're going to support an interest here. And I think that's perfect because then we can expand, because more interest means those are our expansion areas. So we're going to support an interest there to expand against Mexico, which right now they have an interest there and they're trying to expand. They're slowly absorbing these little Indian nations, and I feel like soon we're going to have to go to war with them. And yeah, we do have some states in turmoil still, but eventually they will be good. I mean, Virginia is in 31% turmoil. Okay. So, but their market access is low right now because of the infrastructure. So we need to build more infrastructure in these areas. We need to build engines. We need to build railways. So I'm going to start doing motor industries. Even though we have very low predicted earnings, and we should wait until or go for a place that has more infrastructure. Like, even here, infrastructure is just way overused in all these states. Well, I mean, we could build one here in Massachusetts. We need to get one at least built so that we can, support our rail industry. And that's what we really need to do. We need to start getting railroads. But it's looking up. So without further ado, let's get right into some time. Let's move some time along, and we should be getting some textile mills and some arms industries built, some iron mines and all of that, and it should start getting our money up. And our standard of living has increased to 14, so it's slowly going up. After we had that little war, it's going up, and we're getting a lot more loyalists. We're losing a lot of radicals, so that's great. We're in a good position right now. We just got to make sure we keep trugging and keep gaining loyalists and losing radicals. We're going good so far. Just got to keep on going, keep on chugging. So radicals are going down, but it's not going down by that much. We are getting a lot of loyalists though. It's kind of just playing the waiting game, Strat fans, because we have high tension still. We're probably going to have another war there. We do have some expensive goods and some inefficient taxes. Low market access is the biggest problem, though. Like, look at all this. Like, West Virginia has 19 market access, meaning we really need to get some railroads built. But I don't want to be in an engine shortage, But I feel like I'll start building railroads. In fact, I can do this easily by going to my development tab and just expanding railways, and I'm going to build them everywhere. Everywhere that doesn't have one, I'm going to build one. Even though it will pose a problem later on, this is something we need to happen. Alright, what is this? First aid? I don't have opium, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, boys. You can't be addicted to opium yet. I don't have enough. Publicly traded. Government run. I'm just going to do privately owned for railways. I may not be able to afford to subsidize them. I will do automatic expansion, though. Ports are another good way to get some infrastructure, too. And they're less expensive to maintain because, I mean, they produce stuff. So I feel like that'll be a good way to increase the infrastructure in all of these shoreline states. Even though these ones here aren't allowed to build them there, but every state is suffering from a lack of market access. Like this is terrible. This is terrible right here. So that's what's causing our standard of living to go down, is because nobody can get their goods. People want the goods still, but they're not getting them. Right, labor movement. Alright, I have enough. No, that was automatically exploited. Alright, yeah, these states are going to remain in turmoil because we don't have enough infrastructure to really increase their standard of living. So, like, you know, the reason why the standard of living keeps fluctuating so much, Strat fans, is that, you know, they don't have enough railroads. They don't have enough infrastructure to get to where they want and to get the stuff they want. So it proposes a conundrum that they can't get the resources. We're making the resources. You know, I thought it was just because we weren't making the resources. No, we're making them. It's just nobody's getting them because there's no railways. So 23 weeks, we should have our first railways. We do have 300k in Loyalists, but we are gaining radicals again because, again, it's standard of living because it keeps dropping because nobody's getting their resources. If we make enough money, we can improve that pretty easily by dropping the taxes. But yeah, it's the market access is killing us right now. So we have to develop our railroad system so we can start, because we have 3 million radicals. 3 million. That's not good. Alright, 11 weeks, and we should be able to improve our infrastructure a little bit. Yeah, that's not good at all. That's a whole bunch. Shares. Colonization. Ooh, colonization in Kansas complete. So we now have Kansas. Well, let's see, incorporate it. Okay, so in Kansas, I'm going to build mortar industries. Because again, we have a railway in Kansas. So I'm going to take advantage of that. Now, one thing I didn't realize, Strat fans, again, you know, this infrastructure right here, each building costs infrastructure to maintain. So a smart thing I could do, instead of investing in railroads, would be to, you know, just delete some of these buildings. That would be a wise decision, but an even better strat would be to rush some railways to improve, because railways improve your infrastructure capacity, and then that'll increase the market access and make it to where these buildings are producing, thus bringing more money in. So I feel like in the long run, just improving your railroads will help, because I believe it adds 20 infrastructure each time. So that's a lot. That's a lot of infrastructure to add. So like one railroad already will add a whole bunch to all these provinces. But yeah, we'll work on these motor industries so we can produce some engines. It takes steel to do so we have to make sure we're producing enough. But yeah, and hopefully that can cause our standard of living to rise. Because just even though they're not going to be worked, they're still going to provide a base amount of infrastructure. Even if they don't have the workers or they don't have the engines, they'll still provide infrastructure increase, which will mean that people will get the items they want. Oh, okay. Didn't even know they're at war. Alright, so yeah. Now that we've got that, let's see how our market increased. Okay, 54. 7. Oh, this one's still producing. Okay. Gold's discovered in Sonora. Did we produce one here? No, we didn't. Where's our railroads? Okay, so we have one here. And that brought this up to 90. 90 out of 94. So, let's see. Face value, United States, chain. Yeah, railway in New York. And then there's a port as well. Alright, so yeah, once we start employing it, it'll employ more infrastructure. And then, you know, oh, what? Why'd it go down? Oh, there it goes, 92. 92. Come on, keep growing, keep growing. We gotta get up to 94. Come on, we need to hire more folks. Yeah, that'll start improving our standard of living, which will hopefully, because again, America's looking red right now, mostly because of standard of living. Okay, the Tamil people, South Asian, so we have Asians going to Kentucky. Okay, I didn't think Kentucky was that progressive, but okay, Asians, if that's what you want, you can go to Kentucky. Let's see how our market access improved. Improved a little bit across the board, but not as much as we need. So we do need to continue to build these railways, and the faster we build them, the better we'll get. Wyoming has been completed. That's good. Let's see, where are you? Okay, Wyoming. Again, bad infrastructure. That means it doesn't have a lot of, people going to it, so it doesn't produce a lot. Wyoming is complete. Montana will be complete soon too. Our money's going up, which is good. That means that it does help our money production, which can help our standard of living too. Even though it's going down, it's stabilizing because people can still get it, and it will go up once we get our infrastructure problem fixed. Because it's just all these problems, this market access. It basically means, like, when it's 100%, then it impacts the sell orders and buy orders and generates, disruption. So like, if they don't have enough access to the market, then they're not going to be able to get the supplies they need. Whereas if they have access to the market, they'll be able to get the supplies they need, and they'll be able to make themselves happy. So like already we're almost to the infrastructure that we need. And then it's at 34, 35. So, once we start employing people, the infrastructure will go up. So like, it already helps give us a modifier. And so the market did increase. But once it goes up even more, once we have enough folks working, then working on the railroad, it'll go up. Oh, jeez. This is not good. We got an election coming up. The Whig Party is going to probably win. Wait, they have more momentum, but the Democrats have more votes. Yeah, we're losing our loyalists because we have this big problem with infrastructure. It might be smarter to just not build anything else, but like, look here, 100% access now. So their standard of living is going to improve dramatically. Alright, so we have Telfair Calvert, a moderate, in charge. Okay. I have a lot of moderates, some pacifists, liberals. And, yeah, okay. And Abe Lincoln's leading the intelligentsia. Alright, so I feel like the next one we can go for would be maybe a better healthcare system. It costs a lot of bureaucracy to maintain. I really want to do dedicated police force, because it'll help the ones in turmoil and reduce the amount of radicals. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Some of the planners will oppose it, but they won't make them radical, so that'll be good. We're getting 10K. We're making lots of money, so I think what we could do is we could cut down the taxes. No, we can't. Maybe we could add this consumption. No, I don't have enough authority. It's alright, though. Like I said, eventually the market access will improve, and we'll be able to, because we are losing radicals generation. The radicals are going down because we are getting improvements to standard of living. It's just overall they're suffering because we're both getting new states incorporated, which they come in and they're already pretty, they're pretty poor, so it drives the whole nation's standard of living down. But we are getting some improvements. We're getting some improvements to it. We're steadily gaining loyalists. We're getting some infrastructure built. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of time, but I feel like eventually it will get better. We're making some good change, good chunk of change right now. So we are getting there, and I'm just focused on. I know we haven't had a lot of wars during this series, Strat fans, but I'm just focused on trying to keep the country from falling apart. Okay. And we're slowly getting this market access up. Like I said, it's just a matter of improving the infrastructure. That's our biggest problem right now. Because like in Kentucky, we have perfect infrastructure. Everyone is there. That's why we have 14.5 for their standard of living. Because all these buildings will be able to be worked. This will add 5 infrastructure. Yeah, we'll do some steel mills too. But all of this will, once we get more in technologies, that'll help improve infrastructure too. We are losing radicals now. Not a whole lot every day, but we are losing them now. Okay, here's another event. Grassroots support for law. Political wills and desires of the lower class will always remain a opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for dedicated police force has spiked like wildfire. For like massive speakers and lively enthusiasm. Yeah, let's use this as common ground because that'll be great for increasing some loyalists in Missouri. Awesome. Loyalists are very good to gain because if you gain a lot of loyalists, it's hard for them to drop. Just like radicals are hard to remove, loyalists are also hard to remove. Ooh, look at that! That market access is helping our economy too. Awesome. And then we're improving ports here to help the market, to help the infrastructure as well. And then we're going to get some motor industries up here, so we can improve the infrastructure elsewhere. All right, so it's starting to look up now, Strat fans. I feel like once all of this market access goes away, because we are gaining some, like Delaware here is at 99. But it's just because it's fluctuating right now. It's fluctuating because we're building a port. Once we get that port in there and we get more infrastructure, I feel like it's going to improve. So it's like their standard of living is really good. It's really good because they have a decent infrastructure. And once we improve it even more, that'll help so much. So we're losing so many radicals right now. That's awesome. Our standard of living is going up a lot. We're making a lot more cash. So our gold reserves are filling back up after that costly war. Alright, so let's see. Okay, that's good. Infrastructure is looking good around the board here. 140 in New York. That means we can build a lot of stuff, Strat fans. So let's build some motor industries. Let's build some glass works. That's awesome. That is awesome. And like, just one railway is enough to really tip the balance in your favor, as shown here. So I should have invested in them before. Okay, it's been debated in political spheres. Okay, so it's gone up more. I do want to restrict child labor because I know that'll help. It'll hurt my economy. It'll hurt some other folks. Gold discovered in Alaska. Oh, jeez. Right, they're owned by Russia right now. But yeah, it's looking up. We're getting some standard of living increases. It's looking green over here. Trade agreement. Sure, Brits. We'll trade with you. We lose a lot of tariffs on that. That's okay. That's okay. So we only have 12 now that are that need more infrastructure. All right. So let's look at the infrastructure here. Did we build one in here already? No, we did not. Let's build some more ports and some more railways. Alright. We're starting to lose some cash now because of that trade agreement with Great Britain. Oh, mining accident. Oh no! Event in Mississippi. A mine in Mississippi has collapsed, trapping miners within the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the tragedy a story across Mississippi and the nation. Oh, jeez. Small price to pay for the march of industry. No. Strata becoming radical. It's outrageous abuse. So I'm always going to get one of radicals. Interest. Well, I don't know which one to pick because each one's going to have lower strata pops become more radical in Mississippi. It's just choosing which interest group I want them to go to. I think I'm going to increase industrialists, even though that sounds cruel. It's just they make more money. Gold discovered in Gaia. All right, so yeah, we're steadily losing radicals, even though our money is kind of fluctuating. It's just because of the tariffs. That's literally all it is, and because the motor industries aren't the most profitable. They just help. Increase infrastructure, which in turn will help help these industries that we're building go great. Plantain people. So wait, what? European and Hispanics coming to New York. Okay, I mean that's kind of more friendly at least. All right, so the turmoil here is not good. New Jersey got a railroad. Let's get more ports. Another railroad and a motor industry. I'll do a steel mill as well. All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of construction going on. And that's probably what's driving our costs up is the construction. Yeah, those construction goods. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, we have dedicated police force now. So 2 max law enforcement institutions, minus 5% radicals with standard living, minus 8 pennies of turmoil. All right, there we go. Let's see, restricted child labor. What does this do? 15% dependence income, 1 max education, and then mortality for farmers, laborers, and peasants goes up. I want to eventually get primary school because that increases our education, which means we get more advanced jobs later on. So it is good to go for. Let's see. Oppose. It's going to get too much opposition right now. You got to wait until they get more support. So you just got to maintain the radicalism as well. Because if they get too much too radical, they get too uppity, then that's when it becomes a problem. All right. Yeah, we're down below 3 mil now in radicals, and we're getting close to 400 in loyalists. We're doing good. Our standard of living's almost to 14 nationwide. We just have to keep producing and keep building and improving the standard of livings all over the nation. So one good tip is to zoom out and see how it's looking. Like right now, Michigan is struggling. I bet you it's because, well, they have market access, though. It's probably because they're not incorporated. Yeah, if we incorporate them, which I'm going to start doing, that increases their infrastructure, which means that we can build more industries in them. And I am going to expand these businesses because they haven't been getting expanded. So sometimes you do have to do it manually, but I am going to build more stuff because that helps improve their standard of living. Now, their standard of living isn't it's not great, but it's not really bad, but it is one thing that's bringing us down. 22 months we'll have it incorporated, and then we'll be able to do more taxes, less radicals, and all that. So it helps to incorporate these states that aren't incorporated, because it's basically like you're a part of our nation, but you're not one of us. It's very bad. Our GDP is looking great. We're number 6 worldwide. Let's see. So yeah, we really need to improve infrastructure in Virginia. That's one thing that's really hurting this state. Alright. Oh, well, that's 38. Appalachian Mountains really hurts the infrastructure. If I could get more authority, I would enact an infrastructure bill. Oh, okay. Well, they're not in turmoil anymore, so that's good. They're still hurting. So we're losing states in turmoil and in market access because, again, it helps. War of Progress. Thomas Jessup has worked out how to improve upon the invention of the repeaters. Okay, focus on firepower, hand-cranked machine gun, focus on precision, bolt action. I'm going to do bolt action rifles because I feel like that's a better invention, even though machine guns, oh boy, those are good, but Spain declared rivalry. Why are we rival with Spain? What? Why are you a rival with me? Major power. Like, you have nothing down here. These guys have all been liberated. Why are you my rival? Okay. Okay. This game sometimes. All these Paradox games sometimes really just baffle the mind. Okay, so yeah, the railways are fully employed, so a lot of this market access is going to go up. See, it's already going up way high. We don't have much low market access, and that's why we're getting a lot of loyalists, losing a lot of radicals, and our money's going up. We've also reached 14 again. So it's just, you got to maintain that as well. I do need to improve our taxation, because that's one thing that's hurting us here in New York. So to do that, we have to do government administration. Even though it's going to increase our expenses, we have to do it. Chemical plants, and then I can actually, I'm going to wait. In fact, no, I'm going to wait. Yeah, I'm going to wait, because you can get electrics industry, synthetic plants, and there's also a special building here too, and power plants. Alright, but yeah, we're losing lots of radicals, gaining lots of loyalists. It's looking great for us right now, Strat fans. Alright. We're economically pulling ourselves out of the gutter. Alright. I think this is a good point to leave off on, Strat fans. A good high note. So, what we're going to look at when we come back is we're going to try to fix this taxation issue, because that's causing a big burn in our wallet. We're going to pause it real quick. I'm going to look at these, continue working on this market access with the infrastructure, because that is solving our problem, and our states in turmoil are going down. We're going to have to maintain a watch on those nations over here, but our standard of living is at 14.1 overall, so it's going up. We have to focus on these states that are low on standard of living. Our literacy is always going up as well. So with that, Strat fans, that'll do it for today's episode. I know it wasn't that exciting, but we pulled our nation out of the fire. So with that, Strat fans, you have a good day. Keep it strategic, Strat fans. Colonel out.